Hey guys, back with another video. And now just yesterday, I did a video on how good was Ayrton Senna in his prime. Now, I talked about how good he was in going through his whole career. But I decided to do another one just one day later. And maybe he's not the best. Maybe I should have done one more recent, but I got a few people wanting me to do one on Jackie Stewart, which is the one I'm going to be doing today. Jackie Stewart was a really good driver. If I were to say how good he was, I don't think he was extremely good. I think he was very good though. He was a very good driver, but let's go through his career and see how good he was in that time. So, Jackie Stewart, he was born in Milton, Dunbartonshire, Scotland. And he was born in Scotland, obviously, and he was born in Milton. So he began his racing career in 1964, just a season before he went into F1. The championships he competed in were the British Formula 3, where he competed in 8 races and won the championship with 7 wins, 4 poles, 7 fastest laps, and 7 podiums, getting 54 points in just 8 races in British Formula 3. He also competed in the Trophies de France. I've never heard of that, and he finished 5th. So, good. So, okay. And immediately after doing that well, he was into Formula 1. And his debut in Formula 1, I gotta admit, for debut seasons, I think his is actually not talked about, because I know this was the 1960s, but it was a very good debut season. He finished 3rd, and he only finished behind 2 drivers, Jim Clark, who won the title, and Graham Hill. And he finished the season with 33 points. He was able to get a win at Italy, also P2s at Belgium, France, and Netherlands, and also P3 at Monaco. Very good. That's, I know he didn't have as good as a debut season like Lewis Hamilton, but that debut season, at least for a rookie, is very good. And he did have 3 retirements at Germany, USA, and Mexico also. So very good for a season in F1. Amazing season. He also competed in the Le Mans, in the 24-hour Le Mans in 1965, which he finished 10th in, so good. He didn't win, but still fine. In 1966, he would compete again in Formula 1, but it wouldn't be as good. And also, I forgot to mention, and he started off with Tyrrell, a Tyrrell Formula 1 team. For 1966, he would stay with Tyrrell, and it was not as good. Let's just say that. It was not as good as the season before, because the season before, he dominated. Actually, by the way, that was actually not true. He moved teams to BRM, so my bad. So this season, it wasn't as good. He won the opening race at Monaco, very good. But then he retired from Belgium. He didn't race at France. He retired from Great Britain. He finished 4th and 5th at Netherlands and Germany. But then he retired the final 3 races. He finished 7th with just 14 points. So not good. Jack Brabham won the title with 42. So yeah, it was a step down, because he had 33 points the season before. But now he had 5 retirements, 1 win, and finishing down 14th. Not great. So 1966, it was not his best year. It was definitely not his best year. He would also compete in the Tasman Series in New Zealand, but he would win. So good. He also again compete in in the Trophies de France, which he finished 5th. So good. And then for 1967, even worse of a season, still at BRM, and it was, again, not a good year. He finished down 9th this year. 9th. And this year, he had an extremely you amount of retirements. He had, if you want to hear this, he only raced in 2 races. He had 9 retirements in 11 races. Only 2 races he actually finished. He only finished at Belgium in a P2 and France with a P3. The rest, and those were the 4th and 5th races, the rest of the season with 11 races, he retired. And, like, it's crazy how much that BRM card was terrible. He was able to finish, but he finished down 9th with just 10 points. Like, and Denny Holm would win the title for New Zealand, and that would actually be New Zealand's only ever title, at least to date. So yeah, not a great 1967, and BRM are just not that great. They weren't great. Right, for 1967, he'll compete in also the Tasman Series, which this time he couldn't win. He finished 2nd. For 1968, and things turned out differently, a lot better. He would move to Matra for 1968, a lot better. Thankfully, he moved from BRM to Matra, which turned out to be a very good move, because in 12 races, he finished 2nd. Very good season. He only retired from 2 races. And he missed 2. He missed 2 races and DNF 2 races. He still finished 2nd with 36 points. He got 3 wins at USA, Netherlands, and Germany. And he finished off the season with 36 points, only 12 points behind winner Graham Hill. So 1968 was a very good year, I think, comparing to the last 2 years. Maybe he probably did want more success. But the move to Matra was working out well, at least because he did very good. I think he was only behind Graham Hill. So very good year for 1968. 1969 now. Oh, by the way, he didn't compete in anything else in 68. 1969. This would turn out to be a very good year. With 11 races on the calendar, he would stay at Matra, and this would be his best year to date. You want to know why? Because he won the whole title. Yes, and he won it very convincingly. He won it by almost double the amount of the person who finished next. He finished with 63 points, and he got a lot of wins. He won the first 2 races, then retired at Monaco, then won the next 3 races, then finished P2 at Germany, then won at Italy, then retired the next 2, then finished 4th. Only finished off the podium once in the races that he finished. So, very good. And he almost finished double the amount of the person that finished 2nd, who had 37 points. So, that season was very good. And also Matra won the Constructors, so very good. 68 was a very good year, and it would be the first title in his career. And he would go on to win some more. But let's get on to 1970. 1970 was, he didn't win the title, and it wasn't a great year. For 1970, he would move away from Matra. He would move back to Tyrrell, the team he debuted with in 1965. And the season, it didn't go well. It didn't, at least, and compared to last year again, like, if you think about it now, it's not bad. There was 13 races on the calendar, more than the season before. But he didn't win. He finished down 5th. So, not great. He got only 1 win in Spain, and he also retired, like, a lot of races. He retired the final 3 races. He retired at Monaco, Belgium, Great Britain, Germany, Austria, Canada, USA, and Mexico. So, what is that, like, 8 retirements. 8 retirements in 13 race season. That's not great. But he was still able to get a win, a P2, a P3, and a P2, and a P9. So, I mean, at least he didn't, like, not get any points. He finished in 5th with 25 points, but again, he probably would have won the title. So, it's just a bit of a bummer that he didn't do better. So, for 1970, a bit of a letdown going back to Tyrrell. So, for 1971, though, a change in fortune would be at Tyrrell. The the team was a lot better in 1971. And what led to 1971 was a very good season. He would do very well in 1971, picking up many wins, and what also came with many wins was the title. And again, absolutely destroyed everyone. He won. He finished second in the opening round, won the next two, finished 11th in Netherlands, so not great. Won the next three, retired from the next two, won at Canada, and then finished 5th in USA. Extremely good season, and he almost finished double the amount again. He finished with 62 points. The next person next to him, person finished below him, finished with 33 points. So if you add that up, it's 66. He only finished 4 away from the person below. If you added them up, added his points tally up, and also Tyrrell also won the constructors. So 971 again dominated, but it was the start of another new champion coming about, because Emerson Fittipaldi, who would win the next year, unfortunately for 1972, he would not be able to replicate 71. He would stay at Tyrrell, but what brought 1972 was two-time world champion Emerson Fittipaldi won the title with 61 points. Fortunately, Jackie, he would finish second with 45 points. He did get wins. At Argentina. He would also win at France, Canada, and USA. But Emerson won 1972. So still a good season, but wasn't able to pick up his third world title in 1972, which he was very much hoping for. But for 1973, something would happen. This would be his final year in F1, and also in all of racing, because he didn't compete in any sort of racing after 1973. For 1973, he would finish his final season off with Tyrrell, and again fighting with Fittipaldi for the title. This time there will be 15 races, and he didn't dominate because it wasn't very close, but it was close. In his final season, he would do really well. He finished third in the first race, then second, then first at South Africa, then retired at Spain, then won the next two, then finished 5th, 4th, 10th, then won the next two, then finished second, then 4th and 5th, then didn't start at USA. So, very good, and he won the title. Yes, he won the title in his final ever season in 1973. He finished off the season with 71 points, and compared to Emerson Fittipaldi, he finished off with 55. So 16-point gap. Very good. Awesome season to finish off his final ever year of F1. And I think if I were to say his prime after going through his F1 journey, how good was his prime? Well, if I were actually to say, it was very good. Like, if you think about it, other than those 2 years in 66 and 67, where retirement absolutely plagued him, I think his career was very good. If you think about it, his debut year finished third, in 68 finished second, in 69 won, in 70 finished second. 70 finished 5th. In 71 he won. In 72 he finished second. In 73 he won. Other than 66 and 67, I think there was no real bad season, because 66 and 67, again, he was plagued with reliabilities. Other than 70, I think he wasn't really that plagued by reliabilities. Let me check, because I'm not sure if he was he did. Yeah, actually, he had a lot. I forgot to. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he had 8 out of 13 retirements. So if he didn't have so many retirements in 70, 66, and 67, he could have won 6 titles. But as they call him, the Flying Scotsman, I think his career was awesome. I think it was a very good career, because especially to be in your debut season and win and finish third, I think it's very good. Obviously, though, now he was knighted as Sir Jackie Stewart, and so very good. very cool. And he would also almost win the Indianapolis 500 in '66, which I actually didn't know. And he'll also have his own racing team from 1997 to 1999 with Stewart Grand Prix. Very cool. And he's still alive also today. He's 82 years old and turning 83 this year. And he still goes to the races, which are pretty cool. So that's pretty cool. And he's the last Formula One world champion from the 1960s, which is also pretty awesome. He now does like some like stuff on commentating at the races and also some other stuff. But going through his prime, going through his career, going through everything that he's been through, how good was his prime? Well, if I'm gonna compare his to Senna, I wouldn't say his is as good as Senna, but it is better than some others because I do think his prime was very good. If you gave him a car that wasn't unreliable, he did amazing, like 69, 71, 73, even 72. He still finished second, and his debut season 65. Like, other than 60, 67, and 70, which were the season that he was plagued by reliabilities, I think his career was very good. It's not top tier, but I think it's top, like top tier level. I think it's not the best, but I would say it's like top 10 because his career was very good. And also, again, he got knighted as Sir Jackie Stewart. So, very good. And so what do you think? What do you think about Jackie Stewart? Going through his whole career, what would you say? What would you say about Jackie Stewart? Was he good? Was he bad? Was his prime amazing? Well, if you did, then like the video, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. See ya.